Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're with DNS. This time we're in Hungary. Dry qualifying, dry race. So good. I've wanted a dry session in Hungary for a while now. So I'll take you through the setup, kind of thinking behind it as much as I can before it disappears off screen. So higher for the wings, higher for the mediums. Tire patch is all the way up now, of course, with this patch. I was debating right until the end. I was debating where to use the ultra softs or not. So for this reason, I turned down the suspension geometry on the front and the rear, and up on the rear rather. A bit more on the ride height, a bit more grip, 8 ballast. So honestly, all the way to the end, I was debating where to do the ultras because I knew tire weight was actually pretty decent, and the mediums can go for a good bit. So I was thinking, and track position is so important here. So all the way until the end, I was debating. I ended up going for the softs in the end to play it safe. Like, nah, okay, let me just play it safe and do that. So I set the lap time in the end, not a bad one. I actually was fairly happy with that. 16.4. I was happy enough with it, to be fair. Unfortunately, it was only good enough for, I think, 7th in the end. As you're going to see here in a second, I retire. I make sure no one's behind me as such, or there's plenty of gap between myself and the car coming around, which is just, we think it's a Williams coming through turn. I think it's a Mash coming through turn 1. So, 7th place in the end. A couple of guys decided to do ultras above me with Bolt and Joe. So, honestly, I wasn't too upset by that time in the end. So, I was worried about my teammate actually, Swanee, who was on ultras. I think he's going to get a much better launch off the line than myself on the soft. So I was like, if I have a bad start, I'm in big trouble here. So I didn't want to be too much further down the field. So anyways, that's the idea. We're going to do soft mediums now when we're here. But honestly, I was debating on doing ultras right until the end, but we're here now on the softs. Away we go. Really good start. Really good. That's where my bear starts on no traction. So we're going to get by Sway here on the right. He's going to be kind of boxed in by Dan. There's a nice little space in front of me I can kind of nick myself into later here on the brakes. Hang a little bit of contact. There was contact from behind it, forcing cars into other cars. Side by side with my teammate. He's on the right hand side. I'm going to go down the inside, or kind of keep the position. So this has been a really nice start. I'm up to 5th and I'm getting Sway and Dan, so that was important. I was really happy with that. I was like, yes, here we go, we're in a good spot here. I actually missed a Bolt spinning, but a lap later then, or so, Joe then, who had lag issues, decided to just bin it rather than just move aside and let cars go by. So that must have put us up at the 3rd then. So that was an interesting one. Bolt already gone off behind. I think he's doing no ABS. He leaves the session, and then that was going to cause a VSC to be deployed. So if I wasn't ultras, this would have been a pretty well, no, because you want to take the ultras further than this, to be fair, but it would have been a nice escape for others to do it. So anyways, none of us are going to come in, of course, because we're on the softs, and we'll keep going. So anyways, lap 6. Bolt here is a lap down, so this begins an interesting part of the race. So there you go. So Dan's behind, less than a second. Bolt moves out of the way as a lapped car. On the softs as well, that was important to mention as well. He's on the same tires as us basically at this stage. So just a lap down. So anyways, lap 8. I'm gonna make a mistake here. I get on the power too soon, or whatever it was. Big moment. It's gonna allow Dan to get through. The confusing thing with that was I felt like I was straight. I felt like I was straight enough to put in the power, but maybe I wasn't too low a gear or something. But anyways, it's a big mistake, and Dan goes through. That's a tough one because track position is so key. But lap 11 then, Bolt decided that he's actually going, I'm just going to go overtake. I'm going to overtake a lap down on the same lap, basically same tires. I wasn't too happy about this, so you can see the little weave there. I was like, no, don't shoot even there. Leave the space, because he's there. I'm going to try and get the power. I'm going to fight this, and this is all because it's cost me all the time. This cost me valuable time to Dan in front of you. See, because the gap wasn't too far, you could see beforehand, but this squabbling is not helping anyone. So it's a fight for the podium, but this is a straight fight for the podium, by the way, between me and Dan. So this is not what I need. I have to back out heading up towards turn 4. So look, it's always a shady spot when it comes to fighting another car, a lapped car. If he was on ultras, I would have let him go. If he were on if he was near the end of the race, I'm on mediums and he's on the fresh softs, I let him go. But because he's on the basically same tyres as everyone else at this stage of the race, maybe a few laps fresher because he's pitted, you know, like you have to use your head a bit and not get involved in a situation like that. Now I'm over 2 seconds behind, so I'm being affected through the dirty air as well. So none of this is helping me at all. I'm losing more and more time, and all for what? He hasn't. If you're going to pass, shake me then. Go on, break DRS. But he didn't, and I'm like, I'm coming back at you. Like, I don't care. I'm going to take back this position. I'm not going to feel any bad about it. I'm going to come back on across this line soon. I'm taking my braking zone, whether you're there or not. You're a lap down. You're out of this race, basically. I will not give any credence to this crap. And I weaved to that. Like, you know, I was not. Like, I kept my head through this, but I wasn't too impressed, it has to be said, about this. And up the road, we're going to go through this first sector split, and I'm 2.6 seconds or so, but I'm going to end up losing more time this lap then, and I end up 3 seconds behind Dan then. So we've yet to pit on the sauce. VSC is deployed, and we're thinking, ooh, this could be interesting, this could be nice. Depends, of course, how long this VSC lasts. We get to the pits, but it's just not quick enough. This VSC doesn't last quite long enough. If it lasts 10 seconds longer, it definitely helps me and Dan, but we don't, like, we're racing now, we don't really gain anything. We didn't gain anything from that, really. So, you know, well, I didn't. Maybe Dan might have gained a little bit, but anyways, into the pits, lap 15. I was going to pit the next lap anyways. But anyways, next, mediums to the end. We're going to be in space. I did close up the gap a little bit to Dan. You're going to see this now, but mediums will be good now to the end. We're going to merge on fourth. Quite a lot of casualties in this race. We didn't have a main to start with, but quite a few casualties you'll see anyway. So a little bit of a twitch. I just try and get these tires up to temperature. I was thinking of an undercut, but of course that VSC ruins it as well. No, sorry, I wasn't really thinking of an undercut because I was basically, because of that battle with Bolt, I'm out of range with an undercut. So that was the other problem with that. I was constantly checking to see if Dan had penalties. He did not. You see the gap is, I've closed it somewhat. It's still over 2 seconds though. So, but just silly. Like, look at this. Like, of all the places to get a warning, like that corner is just, that's such a silly place to get. Like, not turn 4, not the exit of turn 4, and the entry of turn 4, not the exit of that corner. No, the entry. So stupid. I was pulling the gap a bit. Dan wasn't really pushing too much. He's 1.5 seconds ahead. He wasn't pushing too much because once you're in front here, that's basically it. You need track position here, and because I don't have track position, then I'm kind of screwed. Lap 25, another VSC is out for Bolt retiring. The other one was for Sway, by the way, after a desync with Wesker. But this does nothing for anyone. This stays lap 25. So, anyways, but again, just, I guess maybe I had to slow right down at the end there because I was almost over the delta at the end. But just again, look at the silliness. I put it in too soon, and that's a penalty. That's a penalty straight up. My first one was gained at turn 4, but just two warnings there. It's just absolutely, just so silly. Look. Dan pulled away here at the end. I think he pumped in some PBs. I think I put in PB as well, but at this stage I was like, just bring the car home this stage. But I really missed opportunities. There was a podium up for grabs here, but my own mistakes ruined me on this one. With no TC, I ruined it for myself getting out of turn 1. Gave up the crucial track position. I dropped far enough back, and because of that accident, into Bolt, which made the whole backmarker stupid thing possible in the first place. I lost time out because of that. Couldn't undercut Dan in the end. We ended up coming at the same time. I made up some time. Initially, two silly warnings got me a penalty, and there you go. That's that. Dan had enough pace and enough fuel and pace and such to tires to go out at the end, and there you go. Pulls away, and there's your race right there. I actually had enough tires at the end. Like, we're in the 40s. Like, we were comfortable in the 40s. I could have done ultras, I think, in the end, but I didn't know. Congrats on Stephen and Matt then for winning. Scuba and Matt for winning that race. Top 2 there. I was really happy with the times. I have to say, I was happy with the consistency. I really was. I just made one crucial error. Got caught up at the wrong place at the wrong time with Bolt. and then a city warning, and 2, and then there you go. That's 4th. So, anyways, that's this for this race. Next up is good question. I have no idea what's next. We'll find out. So, until next time.